Hi, I'm Sick.
And I'm Twisted.
And this is Sick and Twisted Horrorcast. Hi, guys. Welcome to the weekly podcast.
What's going on? This is the Friday the 13th podcast.
Oh, man. Oof. Been waiting for this.
If you got a machete, hide it. Hide that shit right now. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple of upcoming bits of news. I think the biggest one is a bit that Sick here has seen on social media recently.
So Rob Zombie actually put out a picture of the poster for his new upcoming movie, 3 from Hell. And the poster is actually of Sid Haig, who, of course, is playing Captain Spaulding, the most iconic clown in horror nowadays other than Pennywise. It looks a bit rad. I mean, it's a bit off from what he usually does, but I mean, I like it.
I see what I want. Whenever you showed it to me, I'm just left with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Because, like, is this supposed to be a prequel? Because they've already technically done a prequel. If this is supposed to be like an aftermarket, like a post, then if this is supposed to be like a sequel to Devil's Rejects, then we're looking at the Supernatural, which he hasn't really messed with in this series.
Well, it's pretty weird because he's shown some set shots before this, and they actually show them in court and in like a weird jail cell, but it looks very Western. All of it looks incredibly Western.
So are they going with an alternate timeline, or are they going with more like they survived the shooting?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, then again, there's the how, but then, it's
a huge how right there. They were lit the fuck up.
They got shot to shit. There's no denying that.
There's no denying nothing on that. They drove into a hail of bullets and got shot 9 ways from Sunday before coming to a full stop. Yeah. Like, there was no way they survived any of that. So, definitely something to look out for.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited for this movie. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. I'm a huge Firefly family movie fan. So,
yeah, we'll definitely keep everybody updated on that, and just kind of keep the notes flowing on that thing, because we're definitely one to look out for.
Oh, yeah. I'm pumped.
And then, of course, we got some upcoming movie info.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple that are coming out. We've decided to kind of just trim it down a little bit, focus on 3 that we saw that were upcoming that we just kind of knew about. Stuff we've seen in the news and on TV and trailers and things like that. First one is for The Meg.
Ooh, the Megalodon.
Starring Jason Statham, Ruby Rose, and Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson, also in another horror movie before.
Oh, for God's sake.
1,000 Corpses.
There it is. This one comes out on August 10th. It's a shark movie. Like, you know what you're going to pay for. I think the only wild card is this is a Jason Statham horror movie. I'm skeptical to even classify it horror just with Jason Statham's name on it.
Is Jason Statham supposed to be like the John C. Reilly in Jaws?
I feel like I will not have earned my money if he is not in a straight up fist fight with this thing.
Come here, you bugger!
Like, I
putting a headlock, punching it in the nose.
I want at least one roundhouse kick done on this shark's jaw. I will be highly disappointed. I want
him to put jumper cables on his nipples and then dive into its mouth.
It's not Crank, Jesus Christ.
It's Jason Statham.
Yeah, that's very true. Next movie up is Slender Man. Slender Man is getting his own movie now.
I don't know if I like this one. I don't like that they're doing this because it's the same reason why I didn't...
Kind of glorifying...
Yeah, because people have died over this Slenderman. People have killed other people.
That's true.
For this
creepypasta. This one's coming out on August 24th, starring Joey King. She was starred in Wish Upon and was also in The Conjuring as well. I'm kind of on the same boat with you on this one. This is a skeptical one because of the complete negativity around this character. Yeah, it was a great video game series, and definitely
it was a great creepypasta back in the day, man. It was my first one. It was a lot of people's first creepypastas, for sure. You remember how many people believed that shit?
Well, that's the problem, is whenever you go from, just being a fun piece of media to going into something that's truly to be feared.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where everybody went wrong right there. Right. Is you got, I think the entire thing should have kind of been shut down the moment that little girl got stabbed by her friends.
Yeah.
And it should have been the end of the story. For people that aren't aware of that story, two girls took a friend of theirs out into the woods and stabbed her, I think, 18 times. Yeah, it was. But the girl survived, actually, like, surprisingly enough. And both of those girls were arrested and sentenced. But
claim that they did it to sacrifice her to Slender Man.
Yeah, they said they did it in the name of Slender Man, and that's where you get into those dangerous territories that I'm not sure I want to get behind.
It's like making a movie about Columbine. It's just distasteful.
Yeah, and there's been a bunch of stuff like that, a bunch of distasteful, pieces like that. It's one thing for you to crack jokes in private company.
Make a documentary.
Yeah, you want to do a documentary of the thing, that's awesome, because you're going to show the good, the bad, the ugly of all of it.
You're just going to show the truth.
But the thing, doing media entertainment for the sake of entertainment, that's where you start getting into sketchy waters. Yeah. The moment something bad happens, a huge negative connotation happens with it, you're getting into dicey waters right there.
Yeah. I think we need to play that movie by ear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then the final one is going to be Predator. September 14th. Olivia Munn, Keegan-Michael Key, Thomas Jane. I think I might have saw Kevin Bacon in that trailer.
Yeah, you saw him too, right? I
saw Kevin Bacon in that
with
trailer.
With the Rangers, right?
Oh, yeah. So, I know Sik here is much more excited than I am.
Dude, I'm a huge Predator fan, so I'm really pumped.
Don't get me wrong. I fucks with the Predator.
Well, when it always came to Alien and Predator, I've always been a Predator fan, even before the AVP movie came out.
Well, for sure. Like, he is the penultimate hunter. Like, that's what they designed. That's what this character was supposed to always be, was a hunter.
Well, yeah, the Yachts. It was a sport hunter. Yachts were just massive warmongers.
I have seen both of the trailers that have come out, and the first trailer to me has got me worried. Because, like, the very first trailer is, like, some sketchy box shows up to somebody's house. A kid grabs it off of the front porch and opens it up. And you see some Predator gear inside of this box that was just shipped UPS style to someone's house. And then when he triggers it and he starts playing with a piece of it, acting like it's a spaceship, it's in time with him playing with the toy. He's like, flying it around, and the ship in space activates and flies the exact same way. And he, like, crashes it through some blocks, and that crashes through some trees, and then crash lands on the ground and all this shit. And I'm just like, you are making this look super fucking hokey.
Oh, yeah.
And it worries me. And
Don't have a kid control the Yacha, please.
And then they said something in there that worried me, because they're saying that the Predator is not just evolving, but it's kind of like gaining pieces from each world they've gone to, or each land they've come from. And I'm like, it's one thing for them to take trophies. It's another thing for them to try to upgrade themselves.
Well, that was the whole point of, like, Predator to begin with, was, they brought these people to their planet, or they would go to other planets or whatever, to try to better themselves. And if they would start dying, they would go back to their planet and build better armor or better weapons, and that's how they would continuously evolve.
Well, build better weapons is one thing, but then you see that trailer, and it's a completely new Predator.
Well, even the one that I was looking at, that you had me click on, was he picked up a mask out of the case in a museum.
See, like these are the things that worry me because we're back on Earth and there's not yet been a good Predator on Earth. Mm-hmm. Well, minus Predator 2, of course. You can't go wrong with some Donald Glover.
One good thing is...
Oh my God, I just said... No, it's Donald Glover.
In what?
Predator 2.
Predator 2?
I'm saying Donald Glover, right?
Please tell me. Donald Glover, that's Childish Gambino, right?
Am I saying the wrong one? I bet you money I am right now.
I'm pretty fucking... I think it's Danny Glover.
God
yeah,
damn
it's
it.
Danny Glover.
Son of a bitch. You had a fucking moment last week.
You even fucked me up, dude. It's Lethal Weapon, man.
Danny Glover, not Donnie. Danny. Damn it. All right. So.
But I do like that Keegan-Michael Key is in it because every Predator movie has had at least one little bit of... comedic relief.
There's always some humor in those.
He would be a good comedic relief for this because Eric Foreman in the last remake was not a good choice.
I agree, and I just I want this to be good so bad, and I'm just worried. And honestly, I kind of disagree with you. I think that Eric Foreman.
I just think I couldn't take him seriously.
I actually loved it because it was that mental switch, it was the good-hearted doctor flips the switch, spoilers, to becoming the psycho killer.
It was a horror movie show.
It was. I thought it was great.
Full of spoilers.
So anyway, September 14th, Olivia Munn, Keegan-Michael Key, Thomas Jane easy, buddy. Easy. Thomas Jane coming back into this, so we'll see how Thomas Jane's been. He hasn't been in anything for a good minute now.
Oh, yeah.
So it is Friday the 13th, so of course we have got to talk about our main man, Jason Voorhees.
Well, since we're doing 2 movies, we always got to pick a good one and a bad one of the series. Of course, we got to start off the series with the OG Friday the 13th, the original.
Yeah.
And what's our bad movie going to be, sir?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I watched all of these movies, and I'm going back into it now, kind of like a babe in the woods. I'm just like, what's coming back into the glory days, and then I'm watching this piece of shit fucking movie, and I got bored. I've never been bored on it's a fucking Friday the 13th movie. What are you doing?
And it's Kane Hodder.
I know. And it is Friday the 13th, number 8. Jason Takes Manhattan is the bad we are doing for this week.
But we'll get to that later.
That is a
whole
heap of shit we got to go through. Let's start it off though. Friday the 13th.
Great. Classic movie.
Oh, yeah.
One of the OG slashers, of course. Everybody knows Jason and his incredible hockey mask. But what a lot of people don't know, especially nowadays with fucking people that don't watch horror movies anymore, it didn't have Jason in it. It was not Jason. Jason was not the killer.
Brief split second, and one of the notes that I made while I was watching this again is nowadays, for people coming back and watching this, everybody knows Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, you expect
and
him
everybody
to be
knows that this is a Friday the 13th equals Jason Voorhees.
Yep.
But watching the first one, I made a note. I'm like, this movie nowadays is a movie with a twist ending.
Yeah, it wasn't back in the day. I mean, you expected it to be a guy, maybe. I figure everybody would, but that's just because people are sexist. That and the amount of man hands in this movie.
Oh yeah, there was
before they reveal who it is ridiculous.
But it was. It was a huge twist ending.
Oh, it's
for
fantastic.
nowadays, because if you go back and you just think, oh, I'm just gonna go back and start off watching the Jason series. You're not gonna watch the Jason series.
No, you're
watching Friday the fucking 13th.
You're watching Mrs. Voorhees chop some motherfuckers up.
Yeah. But going back into this, the very first thing that hits you, it's that classic.
Yeah.
That just
it sets you back. Same as Halloween when you hear that piano tune.
Oh,
it it hits you and you're just like,
note.
oh, fuck yeah.
And it just takes you straight into it.
It makes you feel so good.
Like that is the kind of intro I swear to God we're going to get one day. Something
People
that's
are just going to be like, yeah.
It's time.
What was the first note like that you had on the movie?
Honest to God, first note I had on the movie. Like,
What's he
as
about
I'm
to say?
watching it, because I'm watching this movie, and my very first note is, ooh, some bad dialogue. Ooh, buddy, that's some bad dialogue.
See, my first one was the camp counselors stay up late to sing gospel songs, yet leave early for premarital sex.
Yeah.
They're singing Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah.
And then they wait until that song's done before the campfire song to leave and go have sex.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, like, when are you going to suspect that? You're going to get some Jesus and then get some penis.
They go hand in hand. Jesus said, "Taketh of my mayonnaise."
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, no. So yeah, no, definitely an interesting choice, but I mean, the first part of this movie is definitely hokey. It's going back to watch it, and I was just like, man, this is the dialogue I'm gonna watch for the next hour and a half. All right, I can do this, but that's that shit back in the day, you know. That's,
right.
That was normal back then.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, was it just me who noticed it, or did you notice that Kevin Bacon does not sound like Kevin Bacon?
Well, no.
He didn't sound like Kevin Bacon, because this is like either right before or right after Footloose. And Footloose, you could still go back to that movie and be like, I can close my eyes and tell that's Kevin Bacon. If I were to close my eyes and yeah, exactly.
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, I only have my salad with Kevin Bacon bits, but.
God, no.
But, like, I can watch this movie, close my eyes, and never go, is that Kevin Bacon? Like, you'd never guess. He sounds like a California surfer dude. Like,
yeah, it could have just been like an acting choice, but I mean, there's no telling.
Right.
But, like, at the exact same time, like, one of the things that I put on there was, like, the age on these actors is a little hard to tell.
well, like, the first two that get caught having sex up in the attic, the ones that leave the gospel.
They looked like they were fucking 14.
Yeah, like, they were at most 15, 16 years old.
So, yeah, that was a little bit on the rough side. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was... yeah, it's... The age on this is tough to tell. Like, one of the big questions that I had was, like, how old are these counselors, because of the reason that it was kind of seeming like the head counselor, the only person with facial hair.
Oh, Steve Christie?
Steve.
The one with the porn stash and the Daisy Duke shorts. Yes,
him. It seemed a lot like he was in a relationship with Alice.
At the beginning, didn't it? Yeah, because he's trying to keep her from leaving.
Keeping her from leaving, making
holding
these,
her
like,
face.
Yeah,
like
long lingering touches.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, can I just get an ID? Can I see an ID, ma'am? I just
What
need to
made
know.
it even weirder is that Alice kind of looks like my dad's sister. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I just, age was, god damn, it was rough. But, you know, I think a big reason that Friday the 13th was so iconic, I think a huge reason was because of that killer's viewpoint that they did through the whole thing.
Oh, the whole handheld.
The handheld,
Everything,
constant viewpoint from the killer. You don't, and there's times when it was kind of like a false positive, where you'd see that camera move, and you're like, "Oh crap, the killer's right fucking there." Nope, not there. Like I was just doing some camera work right there. That's all that was right there, buddy. You don't got to worry about a thing.
It's so simple.
Exactly. It's such a.
That's the reason why some of the most like classic horror movies from that time, from Halloween to, you know, they were low budget. So they had to figure out ways to be creative to make this more scary. And so when it came to things like those handheld shots, they were just trying to be creative. to make this scary because they didn't have much money. And it just made it that much scarier than if it was a high-budget film. They wouldn't have done that.
I think it's one of the... It's a fascinating viewpoint for me, just because it's such a simple way to build tension, especially in a movie where you don't know who the killer is.
Oh, yeah.
You've never seen the killer. You've only seen the hands. Imagine
watching this when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
And not knowing a goddamn thing.
Well, what's even worse is, like, I think another thing that was a simple thing that they did, but it increased the tension, was using a Jeep, both for Camp Counselor Steve and for the Ms. Voorhees character. I think that was a beautiful little piece, because there's times my wife has never seen the Friday the 13th movie. So she's watching it with me. While we're watching it, she goes, "Oh my God, it's the Jeep." So it was Steve at the diner, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's the Jeep. Oh my God. Oh, Steve's gonna die." And so it's just like that little bit, a little nugget of, even if it was just we're being cheap right now,
right?
It helped. And it's such a subtle thing, I
remember being a kid and watching this with my dad and thinking, I say kid, but I was like 13. But, I mean, I was watching it with my dad and seeing him come out of the diner in that Jeep, and I was like, oh, Steve's the killer.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he killing his own counselors?
But it's just that simple thing, I did want to quickly jump back to the bad dialogue, because I wrote down a scene when the cop comes by the first time, and Kevin Bacon is just kind of jogging up real quick, and the cop, like, randomly is just like, "What, you just get off a spaceship or something?"
Oh, you smoking reed? The reefer? The
no,
hash?
No, it wasn't that. Like, I've literally got this transcribed right here.
Oh, God.
It's, like, he goes, "Colombian gold, man. Grass, hash, the weed, dig it." I lost my shit.
I think this is more biased toward me being around motorcycles my whole life. You've seen a police bike before, right?
Yeah.
This is just a blue Harley with police stickers. Like, not even police stickers. They went to Walmart, bought the lettering stickers, and put them all over this goddamn bike to spell police.
They had to do what they had to do. Like,
and then Kevin Bacon is so dumb as to just start playing with this bike.
Yeah, but I mean, what can you say? They were on that Colombian gold, man. Grass, the hash, the weed, dig it.
What did he say? Oh, what did I tell you? Sit on it, Geronimo.
No, sit on it, Tonto.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then called him Cochise also.
Cochise.
Because the kid was wearing an Indian headdress and dancing around like an idiot when the cop pulled up.
Oh, I love his whole bit of, sees the cop pull up and goes, oh shit. Like, what are you worried about? He's just...
That was so good. It's awful and fantastic all at the same time. I've got to talk about Crazy Ralph.
Yes, okay. I got something in here on him where when you first see him with the overzealous preppy counselor that never makes it to camp, you'll never come back again. And he comes out of this house, and you think that this is his house. All of a sudden, just rides away on a bicycle that was up against a pylon.
They do some long shots of him on that bike.
They really do.
Just saying, like, they were proud of him riding a bike.
I wonder if that was like the first time that actor ever rode a bike.
He was proud of it. Doesn't matter. But yeah, no, like him just like I kind of broke up a little bit because he was just. There's a death curse on that camp.
Why was he in the pantry, by the way?
I wrote that down. He was just chilling in that pantry.
Just waiting for somebody to open it up.
Just for the dumb jump scare for the movie.
And how did nobody notice the bike outside?
Right? But in all reality, like, how long's that dude been in that pantry? how long's that dude been in that
Check his
pantry?
feet for snacks.
And he's drunk. He was drunk. Because the cops were like, oh, yeah, he's been drinking the hooch again. Like, they were really thankful that they got him back to his wife. Like, what?
He's married.
He's married. This guy is married.
But he's a prophet from God.
Oh, yeah.
He's a messenger from God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a thing that happened in this movie.
and the preppy girl tries to find a ride. And as she's walking away, right before they meet Ralph, this fat oil trucker just decides to look at her and go, what was it? Every girl gonna look as good as you?
Yeah.
That girl looked at about 14, 15 years old.
See, but this is back in the day when like people offering you a ride wasn't even an issue.
No,
because literally, like she walked in and was just like, anybody know the way to camp? And like everybody looked at her like,
Blood Camp and
Camp Blood? Camp Blood?
Yeah, Camp Blood. But she doesn't bat an eyelash. She keeps smiling. She's just like, she doesn't even question the fact that they called it Camp Blood.
I find interesting because they all call Ralph the local crazy, but they all believe in Camp Blood being a thing.
Right. Yeah. All he's doing is warning them.
Like, he just took it a step further, and they're like, fucking nut job.
You're a little too into this, Ralph.
Yeah, like, look, I believe in aliens, but I'm never gonna, shove a probe in my ass. All right, like that's too far. You're crazy.
Aliens are gonna attack us, but you have a tinfoil hat on.
Exactly.
You're nuts.
The snake scene.
Yeah.
That I see when I first saw it, like when I first saw it the very first time, it was an interesting. It was just there was a scene, there was a snake in it, and it was just a thing that happened. I never thought anything of it. Watching it again, I thought this was just like a scene that they shot, and then there was a snake in there,
right?
And then they just decided to keep going. Because I looked into some of the director's notes and things like that, and it was designed to show that the counselors are capable, that they can get things done if put into stressful situations and things like that.
Which none of them do.
No, well, they don't whenever a murderer is around.
Right.
But in all actuality, they're really capable counselors, because whenever their buddy acts like he's drowning, they all sprang into fucking action.
Except they all know how to be graceful at every bit of this, except for Kevin Bacon's goddamn belly flop.
Hey, Kevin Bacon's trying. All right?
She dove in. He goes right behind her, does the diving motion, but just flops. And he's so angled. He looks like a trapezoid. He just like
I get it, but
feet and hands first.
I mean, that was. He tried. Give Kevin. You lay off of Kevin Bacon.
I love Kevin Bacon.
Lay off of Kevin Bacon. Go have some Kevin Bacon bits. Anyway, so but it was they're actually like incredibly capable counselors, because whenever the kid acts like he's drowning, everybody springs into a job, and each job is different.
Oh yeah.
Each job is capable. So they're good at their jobs and incredibly capable.
As soon as the power goes out, they figure out.
Yeah, there's an old generator on, and all this.
There.
So I thought the snake was just a snake that got in, and then the actors decided to roll with it.
Right.
So I found a little piece of trivia, and it cracks me up to no fucking end.
God, it's kind of fucked up.
So with that snake, they shot this snake scene on purpose. This was an actual thing that they meant to do. But back in the day, PETA wasn't as big influentially. So PETA wasn't on set.
Right.
This was a real snake. I'm sure everybody could tell this was a real snake that they actually
the way that it coils up, there's no way that it wasn't.
Yeah, and they actually chopped the head off of this thing. But what they don't tell you is that the owner of the snake is on set and just off to the side crying as they chop his pet's head off with a machete. What in the actual fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?
What is happening that you guys are chopping this guy's pet off? And I couldn't find anything on if the snake owner was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, it just says he's off to the side crying, which
you
means
could just
he's
imagine
sad.
the director being like, hey, Jake, can I see that for a minute? Cool. Chop it up.
Get him! You get him!
I can just imagine them chopping him up and the guy in the corner just... and everybody in the corner, like, chopping it up is just trying to act, and they're like, good... I'm so sorry.
They told me it was okay. They told me you were cool with it. So yeah, that was just a little bit of trivia I found on that bit that I thought was fucking gold.
One of my favorite deaths, other than my favorite, is the throat slit in the woods.
So this was the
preppy
first camp counselor that was randomly telling her life story to somebody that was supposedly wasn't even speaking words to her. So is this the one where she hops out? She does the jump and roll, but twists her ankle getting out of the car.
I'm guessing
in a ditch.
Yeah,
and then runs through the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you have on that? Cause
the way that instead of like, you know, when most people get their throat slit, they're gonna grab right under their throat or something, and then. First of all, she does it more like she's having a heart attack, where she kind of is just like, "Ow, my chest hurts."
Yeah, she's shocked.
And not only that, but like. Instead of... It's more like she's wincing in pain and then swallows. Did you notice that she swallows?
Well, I mean...
Because she's just like... like she swallowed some bad, like... Robitussin or something. It's just...
That's that bad taste in her mouth from getting murdered. The bitch got me, damn it. It's like when you're gaming and somebody gets in, you know you're better than him. Oh, you son of a bitch, that's a bad taste in my mouth.
So I can imagine getting your throat slit would leave a sour taste.
Oh, God. So, the light... Tell me that you saw them glorious lightning effects.
Oh, when they're talking about her dream of the blood rain?
Yes.
Is that the one you're talking about? And then how the lightning is somehow the same shade as a spotlight?
Yep. Which I'm fairly certain is just a guy like orange. Off screen, just like...
It's not even that. I bet you it's like some dude with a mag light. All right, boss, I can do this. Off on. All right, where's my $10? You promised me $10 and a 6-pack of Bud Light.
That dream explanation was great too. So, like I said, I was watching this with my wife, and she was like getting really into the dream explanation.
And then it just...
So she was getting like super into the explanation, and Kevin Bacon was just like, "Oh yeah. Oh, looks like a storm's moving in." And like,
no, now we're really gonna get soaked.
And I told my wife was just like, "See, now that's what you guys do. You just don't care about some stuff like." And I'm like, "That's not that at all. That's just the difference between men and women right there." Because like as a guy, when anybody has been like, "Man, I had this crazy dream, and this happened, and this happened."
Hey, tell me this inside. It's about to rain.
No, not even that. It's like, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And I'm like, yeah. It's a fucked up dream. What's for dinner? What? I don't know what more you want from me. But like I've told my wife about a dream, and she's like, "Well, I mean, we're going through a lot of big changes right now, and
oh my God.
You know this, and this." And I'm just like, "No, I just thought it was funny."
Did you not hear about the monster that was chasing me with condoms for hands?
Come on now. That's hilarious. No, that's clearly a symptom of fear
of condoms,
fear of children and intimacy. No, it was just a condom monster.
Which is hilarious, by the way.
Trojan horse, if you will.
No. No. Don't you ever do that again.
Aw, come on.
Fucker.
Come on. So, one thing in this that I thought was hilarious was, so all these camp counselors, they're running around camp, they're doing their jobs, they're very capable, they show how capable they are. They take like a short break and play and like rest at the beach after they're finished putting the dock together. And then later on, like once the sun went down, sex, drugs, drinking, stripping all at the same time.
By the way, strip monopoly.
Yes. I could talk about this scene for days. Strip monopoly. How? They explain a bit. Here's
instead
the
of
thing.
paying rent,
Yeah,
you take off
instead
an
of
article
paying
of
rent, you
clothing.
take clothes. Have you ever played Monopoly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You are gonna run out of clothes
Quick.
long fucking before you finish that goddamn game. What do you do once them clothes are gone?
I'm sure we could imagine.
I'm sure we could imagine.
We could involve a buffalo with some ice cubes and a pitching wedge.
What the fuck are you into? Jesus Christ. I'm finding some shit out about Sik today, guys. I'm scared. I'm in a room with him. So, but no, I just, like, of all of the games that you could play,
Dude, you don't have a deck of cards?
Exactly. This is a summer camp. You could do anything. You could be like, oh, let's go turn on the lights at the archery range, and first person to hit a bullseye, you have to strip. The other two people have to strip. Some shit like that.
Well, it is raining.
So it's raining.
It's raining.
But
So you would have
you're
to say
still at a summer camp. Why do you only have Monopoly?
Yeah, if you look in there, the only game that you can clearly tell, because the rest of them are torn to shit, is Monopoly. There might be Parcheesi in there, but I don't see how you could do strip Parcheesi. But
Yeah, well, it's cheesy.
So is this goddamn movie, but I love it.
That would be Gouda.
No. I'm not going to fucking tell you again, man.
Look, that girl was obviously Swiss.
Kevin Bacon's little girl, Mila Kunis from that 70s show.
I love myself.
So right after they get done having sex, by the way, under their dead friend, which, by the way, why didn't they notice him when they walked in?
So
Because he would have been up there first.
He was, but he was facing away from the wall, from the front door, and there was like a pillow on this side.
Was he facing away?
Yeah, because when they panned up, you
they
can
come
see,
up from away
Yeah,
from
they
the
come
wall.
from the backside.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that now.
So that's how they explained that. But
You never see him die, by the way, and it
No.
kind of upsets me because he was my favorite character.
see, he was my least favorite.
I just loved his little tidbit jokes that he made. I thought they were pretty. Yeah, they were off-putting.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that I think they were off-putting.
They were sub Parmesan at best.
I shut up. Like his little bit inside of the truck where she's like, "Is all you think about sex?" And he goes, "No. Sometimes I think about kissing girls."
Like the
Who wrote this?
geniuses, pure geniuses, just gold digging geniuses. So we've got
In the weird ass banjo music in the truck.
Yeah, well, that's actually interesting because it's one of the few times they ever use music
Yeah.
in the movie.
Other than when that guy's not playing that song on the guitar.
So there's there's the music that they make by themselves like, with the guitars, and then there's the classic,
Right.
and then there's the song that's played
In the truck.
at the end.
Oh, yeah.
kind of as the tension is building
Very
post, like in the
peaceful.
fight.
Yeah.
And then after, during when it's peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Like, they don't do it much throughout the rest of the movie.
They only play music when it's really needed.
And what's interesting is it's a strange way to build tension with some of the ways they built tension with the longer shots was interesting because, like, especially like when you compare things to nowadays where an offset camera means a jump scare.
Right, yeah.
Where a lingering shot means there's something to be seen. So with this one, like, you know, this girl has, you know, she's gone through some shit. She went back to the kitchen area and she's making that coffee. I think this is before she's seen everybody dead.
It is because she's making 2 cups.
That's right.
For her friend.
So
Which he's the first one that she sees.
Yeah. So this is before she finds everybody dead. But it's still an extremely tense scene because we know that the killer's out there and we know she is the last one at this point.
Yeah.
But she's making these 2 cups of coffee and they do this lingering shot. And they go from, you know, they're following her, and she's making the
You're
coffee.
constantly
and
expecting something.
You're expecting
Every
something
time it moves.
Non-stop.
Oh, yeah.
And
I got antsy. I was sitting forward.
Yeah. And I've seen the movie.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's not something that's supposed to surprise me, and yet it's still something that builds anxiety and builds tension. So, and that's what makes this movie so impressive.
Right.
Because it is that well made.
Right.
It seems like something that's just lazy, where it's just, why didn't they edit that out? That's why they didn't edit it out, because it kept you on pins and needles.
Yeah.
It's almost as if, the lines are hokey and all that, but the horror in this movie almost seems to age like wine.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's an incredibly well done piece that I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not.
Yeah.
So,
well, back to the death in the bunk bed.
it
is my favorite death in this entire movie because Kevin Bacon, which I still don't know his name in the movie. It's like Jake or something, but
for the life of me, I don't know.
care. It's Kevin Bacon.
That's Kevin Bacon. You know what's bad is in my notes, it just Kevin Bacon.
Mine too. Kevin Bacon's belly flop. The death of Bacon.
Did you get that Kevin Bacon booty?
Oh yeah,
A little bit of Kevin Bacon
clawing
booty
on the bacon booty. Yep,
A little bit of bacon booty.
Oh yeah, a little bit of sizzle in that shot. But
I think that's like the third sizzle joke we made.
But he finishes that little grunt that he does as he finishes, and then they're cuddling, and she has this beautiful tan line. You can just tell he is relaxed as hell. He just got his nut off. He's good to go.
Yeah, he just let off that bacon fat.
Dude. But he
ain't no grease left in that pot.
Oh no, there's a lot of grease in that woman now. But she goes, "Oh, I need to pee," and just walks off. So what does he do? He relaxes.
Which, hang on. Because she walks off to go to a different cabin to go shower, and she is wearing nothing but drawers.
Drawers and a pink shirt.
Drawers and a pink shirt.
Which she got on surprisingly fast.
Well, yeah, but that's women. Like, they have that ability to dress whenever guys are just like, fuck, I don't even know what you're wearing. So, but no, like, that blew my mind that I was just like, maybe it's just a sign of the times, but it was just like, she was just like, oh, gotta pee, no pants, shirt on, gotta go. Anyway, Kevin Bacon.
But he lights a joint and just relaxes. And you can't be in a more relaxed state. Let me tell you, as somebody who has experienced this, you can't be in a more relaxed state than busting a nut, lighting a joint, and leaning back in bed. It feels amazing. And then all of a sudden, tick, a little drop of blood, and he doesn't even get time to examine this before a hand hits his forehead from beneath the bed, and an arrow pops through his damn throat.
In probably like one of the best kills of the movie, like, because that thing, like, it comes through, it pierces the back, but struggles to get through the front, and then finally pops through, and then spins a little bit back and forth.
Yeah, and that blood just bubbles and gushes.
Oh yeah.
That was it's so beautiful. It's up there in one of my favorite kills in horror movies overall. Up there with Halloween 1 when he stabs a dude through the chest and he's still hanging on the wall.
Oh yeah. It's so iconic. You know, as bad as like
death.
It feels like it should be an iconic death, and it's not.
Right. It's never in any of the top 100s. It's not on any list. But like whenever I think of my top 10 horror kills, Kevin Bacon's always on there. And I love Kevin Bacon, so it sucks to see him die, but goddamn, they did it well.
Hate to watch die, but I love to see. No, that doesn't work. Never mind.
But I hate to watch it die, but I love to watch it bleed.
But yeah, I mean,
a lot of weed went to waste in this movie. I will say that. 2 joints went to waste in this movie.
I mean, smoked 2 joints in the morning and killed 11 people at night. That is actually
Sublime. that is a quote for quote line from Sublime.
Minus the 11 people dying. There is 11 deaths in this movie, including the snake.
Weirdly enough, 11 deaths in this original movie. There's only 11 Friday the 13th movies.
Is there 11?
Mm-hmm. There's 11. At this moment, there's 11. I looked it up.
No, that's if you're not including Freddy vs. Jason.
Would you, though?
I would. Because canonically,
yeah,
Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street are in the same universe.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that was, I think they declared it before the movie came out that it was supposed to be canonically in the same universe.
Right. Which, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no.
And I'm okay with that.
So, yeah, people getting killed, left, right, up, down, all sorts of ways. And then, finally, it comes to the big reveal of Miss Voorhees.
Which, before then, she finds out that her friends are dead, goes back to that original cabin, does the most genius thing I've ever seen of tying that rope to that pylon and bringing it down to the door.
Legitimately smart.
And then barricading the wrong side of the door.
Didn't understand that, but she was scared.
She was scared and she was antsy, so I'll give her an excuse, but she barricaded the wrong side of the door.
Well, I mean, somebody gets through, it would have tripped them up still.
It would slow them down, yeah. I mean, I'll get that. I'll give you that.
But, I mean, we finally see Mrs. Voorhees, and she kind of starts telling her story, and then slowly you realize you're
the killer, yeah.
And then they have
because when she first comes up, she's like, "Oh no, I'm Mrs. Voorhees. I used to work with the Christies. What's going on? I just came by to see how the whole place is doing in the middle of a storm."
Yeah. So yeah, they have this big fight scene that kind of spans the whole camp.
Yeah, I put this down here. How many times are you going to knock her down without killing her?
Yeah.
She knocked her down a total of 3 times before the big fight happened.
I don't know. She kept like pumping her down and then just
running away.
No, run away. And I'm like, really? Like, she has killed everyone. You need
going to
get
up
this bitch.
I would have immediately just taken that machete and chopped her fucking head off.
I would have done it with the pan. Like, you don't want to kill her? Fine. Just sit right there. And the moment she gets back up, pang, one more time. You get back up, pang, one more time again.
Till the cops are
Yeah, till the cops come back. She may have died by then, but, you were just trying to subdue her.
That or she's got severe brain damage.
She already had severe brain damage.
Well, she had PTSD from her son
Well,
dying,
she had
psychosis.
She had literal multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, okay.
Because there was...
Kill her, Mommy. Don't let her get away.
It was brief, but there it was. It was just like the spark of Jason coming through. And that's another little piece of trivia right there, that is actually how the iconic noise came to be.
Kill, Mom.
Yeah, so it started out as kill her.
Because of the guy that was hired to do that a very deep, chilling track for this, watched that scene and went, ooh, I'm going to use that, and just put those 2 words on a massive reverb, and just it... Oh. Everybody thinks nowadays that it's kill, die, but it's not.
Yeah. So...
little tidbit.
A little bit of little stuff right there for you. And then she finally takes her head off with a machete. The infamous machete scene, kind of the bringing about of Jason using the machete, Jason's mother issues, all of it.
Yeah.
And then
Jason, the epitome of mommy issues.
And then the girl gets into a boat. And
I don't know why she thought that was her safest place.
I mean,
I get
see,
it.
I kind of get it and I kind of don't. It's strange to me because you would think hop in that dead bitch's Jeep and go to the cops.
Yeah. That
because
was
there's
obviously
no
working.
Phones anywhere.
Phone lines are cut.
So you'd think that would be the obvious choice. But I kind of get it on the other hand because it's a spot where you can see an attack coming from all sides. Right. Or so she thought.
As she falls asleep and dips her hand into the water.
She's like, oh, yeah. And the cops are like, hey,
how you doing? And she wakes up and smiles?
Well, I mean, I can understand the smile just because
I think
you look up and
confusing.
You're just like, oh, thank God, the police. Now I'm finally truly safe.
I think it's just my years of watching horror movies where the cops finally come in and they're like, hey, and the girl wakes up and is just like, screaming her head off. And this girl just wakes up and has the most peaceful little smile on her face. She's just like,
But that's that whole it's over... thought process.
But of course, it's Friday the 13th, and it's never over.
And Jason jumps
mossy-ass Jason
from the water and grabs her and drags her underneath.
Oh.
And then she wakes up, and she's in a hospital bed.
Screaming.
And the doctors are telling her there was no boy. And she goes, he's still out there.
Jason.
Which originally, that was supposed to just be a dream sequence.
Yeah, he wasn't even supposed to appear at all, and then when he was appearing, it was just supposed to be in his mother's dream sequences. Yeah.
No, that was supposed to be a dream sequence by the girl.
Oh,
that was
really?
supposed to be her dream sequence, then she wakes up in the hospital, and it was just a dream. It was never...
Oh, the whole thing was a
No, not the whole thing.
Just the
Jason coming out of the water.
Okay.
That was supposed to be just a dream, and then it was, I guess, retconned down the road because of sequels, which is why they ended up.
That a lot, though.
Originally, the rest of the sequels was supposed to be Annie, the survivor, or Alice the survivor, fighting Jason constantly, kind of like Laurie Strode in the Halloween series.
Right.
But they decided
Thank God they didn't do
against that. Thank God, and they killed her off in the beginning of the second one.
Yeah, please don't make me a movie where Jason's sister is Alice.
I'm kidding, right? But yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, there's some great stuff in that one.
Just a couple of things that we're nitpicking at, I guess. It's a classic fucking movie. It is. It holds up to this day. It's so good. It still has that 70s vibe to it where it's, it's still a, cheaply made horror movie. But so goddamn good.
And this episode's just going to run a little long, I guess, because it's Friday the 13th, and you're going to get what you paid for. But you didn't pay nothing for, you cheap bastards. No, so, and now let's talk about the bad.
This movie.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, which, that should have been Jason Takes a Yacht.
Really? That is actually...
And ends up in Manhattan.
that right there is a piece of trivia all its own. Because,
really?
The director even felt as though he sympathizes with the fans feeling like there should have been more Manhattan for there being called Jason takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
The boxing sequence was supposed to actually take place in Madison Square Garden.
Really?
They had a lot of iconic imagery they wanted to show and wanted to portray, but the studio put the kibosh on it because of budget purposes. So a lot of New York that you see is actually shot, I believe, in Canada. So I think that's one of the funny notes that I made was just like, oh man, I love seeing all the sights in New York, like this shady dock and this shady alleyway and this shady alleyway and this shady rooftop.
Did they just repurpose The Crow?
It was rough.
Yeah.
So,
like, okay, I was about 50 minutes into this movie. Like, I was pretty deep into it, where I was just like, oh my god, is the only part of this movie that takes place in Manhattan the opening sequence?
Oh yeah, like it was literally, I put it to paper, between an hour and 3 and an hour and 4 minutes before they finally get to Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I was just bored out of my mind. Mm-hmm. Like, it was weird.
So bad.
So let's start out, like, we're gonna kind of make this one a little quicker. I've got a ton of notes on this because it is just bad.
Well, the movie starts off with guys stabbing another dude for heroin money in a shady alley.
Yep.
And then throwing his wallet into a toxic waste barrel.
The first 5 minutes of this movie, sex, nudity, robbery, drugs, all in it. First 5 minutes of this movie.
And a rat. And a rat. The camera was held on that rat for an awkward amount of time.
That rat was the hero of this movie. You need to pay him respect.
Pay respect to Steve.
So the movie starts and we're on a boat in Crystal Lake, and in Camp Crystal, right outside of Camp Crystal Lake, where Jason's body is underneath the water. He is all chained up and buried underneath the dock from the previous movie, which I think this was just after the girl with telekinetic powers, and that's how he got all chained up and put under the water.
Yeah, wasn't this just after, or no, this was 2 after Jason Lives, right?
I believe. I know this was the one after the telekinetic girl, because they originally wanted this movie to have the showdown again between the girl with telekinetic powers and Jason, but they decided against it because they didn't want anybody from previous movies.
Okay.
So,
I get that.
So one of the big things, they're in this boat. It's just 2 lovers, and they're stripping butt naked and having sexes, and getting all nasty with each other. By the way,
no real nudity in this movie.
Yeah, there was.
Except for in the opening sequence.
Yeah, opening sequence was all I needed. Actually, no, there was more than that.
When?
There was the opening sequence. Then there was the shower sequence with the girl that blackmailed the teacher.
Yeah.
So there was nudity in this bad boy. There was some titties.
Yeah.
So they have sex on the boat. They drop the anchor, which pulls on a 3,000 volt cord that is underwater.
Which that is just a number they pulled out of their ass.
Slap a number on that. Like, I don't know if...
Pick a high number.
I don't know if there was a point. Like, there may be some sort of point behind it. There may be some sort of electrical engineering shit I don't know about.
I feel like there should not have been a cable that big at a
3,000 volt letter.
Kid.
I don't think it should have been a 3,000 volt cord, because fucking tasers do goddamn 50,000 volts nowadays. So what are y'all doing? Why is this weak ass cord under my water? But
what are you doing in my waters?
Yeah, the anchor grabs the cord and kind of pulls it over, and it touches on Jason.
The moving anchor.
And for some reason, there's a short, I guess, in the the line
that
causes
tugs it
electricity to zap over and bring Jason back to life.
Oh, that classic blue lightning.
Oh,
that
man. Oh, buddy, that is the best stuff. But yeah, so the guy was giving the backstory of Jason, and mind you, in this backstory, Jason for some reason was just a kid, not deformed, just a guy,
just a regular
ass kid that couldn't swim.
See, he never learned how to swim, so he drowned.
Yeah, god damn, that good.
The campers weren't paying attention, not bringing up the fact that they were making love.
Yeah. So Jason climbs aboard this ship. Somehow super stealthily, even though he has got the weight of 10,000 elephants behind each footstep.
Which every time you see Jason in this movie, he's just standing there.
Just standing there.
He's just, no.
He's just there, guy.
Hey there, bub.
Yeah. God, I would kill for a Jason with a Canadian accent. Oh, I'm going to kill you there,
Hey, slow down. Hey.
Look, buddy, I don't want to come over there. Look, Look, I'm going to a Timmy Hortons after this, but I'm going to kill your ass.
Just imagine Jason sitting down at Tim Hortons eating some biscuits and gravy.
Just imagine stabbing something just like, oh, God, I'm so sorry about this. Hey, I'm just
so sorry.
Oh, man, I don't want to do this to you.
Look, I'm sorry, but the playoffs are on, and Messier is just, he's on fire this year.
So, yeah, Jason somehow climbs aboard, and he grabs a harpoon gun. And comes at these two kids that are making love, and they just finished, and they're laying on the bed, or they're getting back into it.
Yeah,
and the girl sees
because
him,
he pulled that prank on her,
and she turns around, which is where he gets his fresh mask from. Is he pulls a prank and I got a Jason mask. So he grabs the mask, and then he comes up behind him holding a harpoon gun, and point blank range fucking misses. Nobody moved. He just fucking misses.
I love that in
Jason
this one,
can't shoot for shit.
I love that in this one as well. It's Jason the improv killer. He just goes for the nearest item.
He's going for some shit on this one.
Every time he goes to kill somebody, he just kind of looks around and goes, I could use that.
I could kill somebody with that thing. How can I kill somebody with this thing?
It's just like, how creative can I get? Oh, let's break a mirror.
Which one of the notes that I had to make was, so like he misses with the arrow, with the harpoon, then just kills the guy with the gun, just stabs the whole gun into him.
Which that would take some force, because that's a blunt object.
Oh yeah, no, that takes some power. Jason's got some muscles. But then he's got he grabs the harpoon that he shot out of the wall, and the girl's hiding under the deck on front of the boat.
Just squirming,
not rolling
pulling into a corner.
Not pulling, not trying to like swat away. Just like, oh my god, no, my god, no, oh my god, no, please no, oh my god, no, please no.
And he's like slowly.
Like super slow.
Super slow pushing it into there. And she's like, no.
Like forever. It took so goddamn long for him to kill this woman, and she wasn't
just
trying.
Like, oh my god, just do it already.
Exactly. So then we switch over, and we see that a group of kids are heading on a boat trip to Manhattan for their high school getaway.
Yeah, it was like a prom on a boat. I mean, my school had a senior cruise.
But this is it. This is the thing, though. I don't think it was that, because if it was like a graduation thing, because if you go to, like, you imagine going to prom, that's end of the year stuff, meaning that you've probably already.
Oh, and the relationship between that woman and the other teacher was never really explained.
No, there's nothing was fucking.
There was so much that is just left unexplained.
Well, it's just because that one girl still owed a biology project. Which, why was she going on the trip if she still owed a biology project that would have kept her from going on the trip?
Yeah.
So that's a huge question.
Stephen King's ink pen, by the way.
Jesus. One, Stephen King had a calligraphy pen. Because in high school, it was Stephen King's high school pen, and it was a calligraphy pen. the fuck?
I'm pretty sure Stephen King's not that old. I'm pretty sure ballpoint pens were out by that point.
I mean, even if ballpoint pens weren't out, like a fucking calligraphy pen, like
why would he need that?
But so there's that one, which that was a thing that he had because again reasons. Two, they get in. There's this weird relationship
between
the teacher, this other teacher,
the male or the female?
The female brings the girl who's not supposed to go on this trip to the boat. Mm-hmm. Gets her because she's not supposed to go on this trip because she's got a fear of water,
right?
Which isn't really explained until later.
Much later.
They get her on the boat, and then which you're still wondering, what is the relationship between the girl and this teacher? Is she just a favorite teacher? Whatever. And then they explain that the other teacher, who is a constant cock,
the entire movie,
to everybody, even people doing well,
right? Yeah,
is just a dick to everyone. And so he gets him. Like she comes up, brings the girl on board with her dog. Which you're only going to see like 3 other times.
If that.
Brings the girl, and then the teacher, the male teacher pulls the female teacher aside and says like, you are not her legal guardian, I am her legal guardian, how dare you do this, this is not your call. So, it's, it was just an interesting choice.
Yeah, without a doubt. But this movie is full of odd choices.
Oh yeah, like the back of Jason's head. Tell me you saw that rubbery what the fuck. that nasty white rubbery condom looking son of a bitch that was on the back of his head. I get that it was supposed to be like
well, they had to do something. Have you seen Kane Hodder? He looks like a thumb.
It's a beefy thumb. Leave him alone.
I would never insult that man. At least to his face. Oh, God.
How about the weird choice of kids skeet shooting? Yeah, that's a thing that happens in this fucking movie. They give kids guns on a boat. Tell them to have fun.
What about the boxing match on the boat?
Yeah, the random unsanctioned boxing match. Even somehow this kid was undefeated in unsanctioned boxing matches.
Why does the school have a fight club?
I don't know. That boy got the shit beat out of him, though.
Yeah, he did. Homeboy whooped his ass.
So then there is the
which, by the way,
girl.
For being undefeated, when he fights Jason, he has the endurance of a fat kid running after carrots.
We're gonna get to that fucking scene.
Yes, we are.
So there was a girl that the first death on the boat. Hang on. We gotta back up. Jason gets on the boat because the boat that he was on randomly arrives at the dock that
from
the other kids
Camp Crystal Lake
were showing up at, and this is a massive plot point, a massive plot hole.
Yeah,
because you're at Camp Crystal Lake
in New Jersey. Yes.
And somehow the boat, unmanned, floated to the dock of the boat that was traveling to Manhattan. And I looked this up, and there were multiple people on set that realized this plot hole, but they didn't say anything because they were happy to be in the film. That is the epitome of just look, this place is fucking up bad, but I need this job, man. I can't. I just need to work.
They're like, we're in a fucking Jason Voorhees movie.
So that is a massive thing, and it's not like it's explained away. It's just a thing that fucking happens. This boat just shows the fuck up.
Right.
At the dock, and Jason climbs up the anchor of the other boat and gets onto that boat now. So, first death in this one is a girl that's in a one-woman hairband.
Yeah, and by the way, I would like to talk about how her nerdy friend that looks like a scrawny Josh Hartnett is somehow videotaping everything she does.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like her music video guy, and then just bails on her to go shoot a very, very pre-planned smut video.
To blackmail a
teacher. It's complicated.
But she's just...
But this girl is hot.
Why did she even... Yeah.
This girl's like, why is this nerdy... This nerdy dude is so far in the friend zone, he put himself in the goddamn friend zone.
Yeah, because he's chasing after this blonde bitch.
Bitch, emphasis on murderous bitch.
Yeah,
she tries to murder a girl.
Yeah, she does.
I'm just saying.
Yup.
But anyway, so this girl in the hairband decides she wants to go downstairs and get some shots in this place that's supposed to have great acoustics down in like close to the boiler room area.
Great acoustics, even though she's using an amplifier and a flying V guitar.
She got the money to get a flying V guitar. Good for her.
Right.
But Jason comes down the stairs behind her, lets himself be known.
Everybody that he kills knows he's there.
Almost everybody. Spa Kid.
And First Mate.
Yep, First Mate doesn't know.
We'll talk about that.
But she runs down the stairs and runs like, I think we're down 2 sets of stairs, and Jason just teleports the fuck in front of her. All through this movie.
Jason teleporting in
Jason teleports like a motherfucker. Everywhere. It's amazing that nobody fucking notices this bullshit. So he kills her with her own guitar by bashing her fucking skull across the face.
Yeah.
And that's the end of her. Kelly Who's in this movie?
Yeah, which I knew her because when I was watching this, I was like, I wonder where she's from. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, X-Men 2.
Yep. X-Men 2, Scorpion
Lady
King.
Deathstrike.
She has been... what was that one? The Kiss of the Dragon?
Yeah.
Is that the one I'm thinking of? No, it's not Kiss the Dragon. It's the one with DMX.
Oh fuck! What's that movie?
Not Kiss of the Dragon. Not Romeo Must Die.
Cradle in the Grave.
Cradle to the Grave. Cradle to the Grave.
Cradle to the Grave. Yep.
That's the one I'm thinking of. She was the henchman of Cradle to the Grave.
Didn't like that movie. Not a big fan of Jet Li.
Folks, this is the end of the podcast. I'm sorry, I can't work with somebody like this.
Sorry, bro.
So we fast forward a bit, and we're gonna just kind of jump through some of this.
Okay. So I want to talk about the First Mate killing.
Okay.
Where was he stabbing him?
Yes.
Because if you look at Jason, he's stabbing him in the thigh. But if you look at the guy, he's stabbing him in the back.
Yep.
And then he somehow, without moving where it was, stabs him like from above.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I can analyze that scene all day long. Probably still won't figure it out. So Kelly Who and the blonde girl. I can't remember the blonde girl's name. So she tries to murder. She says it's a prank. She tries to murder, straight up murder.
Because she finds out this girl has a fear of water.
Finds out our main character, the girl that was given Stephen King's high school pen as a gift, is afraid of water. Finds out she's afraid of water and just pushes her straight the fuck off the boat. Straight the fuck off this boat.
Oops.
And goes, oh, I didn't mean it. There is no fucking way you didn't mean this. There was nobody else around you. This deck was completely fucking empty. You walked up and pushed this bitch off the boat. And then when she gets her off the boat, this was the female teacher that is like her confidant or whatever. gets her back on board, and says, "You want to talk about it?" She goes, "I can't swim." She goes, "Well, have you thought about taking lessons?" This is the conversation you're having after you almost die?
Oh, God.
The fuck? Like, what are you doing?
And then goes downstairs to do drugs.
No, they did drugs beforehand.
They did do drugs beforehand.
They did drugs before.
Which, Kelly Who, give her this, did not do the drugs. She did not do
the drugs. Kelly Who's an upstanding girl.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the super stealthy murder of the spa kid. This was the kid that lost in the boxing match.
Is now in a hot rock spa.
In a hot rock spa.
Towel over his face. Hears loud stomping.
No. This is where Jason was super stealthy.
Oh, yeah.
Where he even, he crept his hand out and he grabbed the door handle and turned it so slightly until it popped open just a little bit. And they pushed it open and then snuck in the door.
But the kid notices that somebody's in there.
Yes.
And for some reason, instead of checking, immediately thinks it's the dude that kicked his ass. And he's like,
as one does.
No hard feelings, right? Which is something every white boy says after getting his ass beat. So
Jason grabs with his grabs one of the hot rocks
with his bare but half-gloved hand,
and then just jams it into his sternum.
Which I was kind of hoping he would put it on his face or set it somewhere so that it would burn through the kid. That would have been fucking rad. No, just straight up shoves it into this kid.
This is a movie of how can I kill somebody with that? Find a way.
There was the spoon right next to him that he just could have bludgeoned him to death with.
Anything. Could have done a lot of things. He shoved the hot rock into his sternum.
Which doesn't cauterize, by the way. It bled a shitload.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that's how Jason gets his rocks off.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Anyways, so Jason goes from being super stealthy to destroying this blonde girl.
Yeah.
This blonde girl doesn't stand a chance as Jason punches through the door and slams her into the mirror.
Yeah, it's like me halfway through a stealth mission. It's like, ow, fuck this, kill everybody.
Exactly. And nobody heard it. Nobody heard that at all. No. Then Jason warps up to the captain's chamber and murders the captain and murders the first mate.
Yep.
And then positions the body so that he's leaning on the steering wheel. Say. And then he goes after Kelly Who. And how was she seeing multiple Jasons?
Yeah, that's what I was... Because she kept looking right, left, straight, right, left, straight.
She was
every single one of them had a Jason.
Yeah, it was
and then all of a sudden,
Jason's
gone.
No Jason, Jason, no Jason, no Jason, Jason, no Jason, no Jason. And then just no Jason, anywhere. And you're like, okay. And then Jason was just strangling this bitch. And it is actually I believe I read this, the first strangling death in the series.
I also heard that behind the scenes, they had to cut it out. She said, "Harder, Daddy."
Shut up. God, that would be some good stuff, though. That's some shit I would do as an actor.
Harder, Daddy.
But yeah, first as the first strangulation of the series, from what I have read.
Yeah,
he doesn't do a lot of strangling.
That's weird.
It's Kelly Who. You can't fuck with her. How dare you?
Right.
So then everybody they call a meeting in the captain's in the pilot area.
To
show
the one time that the teacher's not a cock. He comes up, sees the captain on the ground, goes, "I'm so sorry."
Yep. I'm so sorry. And then back into cock.
And then immediately back to being a dick.
Everybody goes, sees the bodies, splits. immediately takes off in different directions.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the boxing group. They all get weapons together.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about this dad joke that was said in there, where it's, what are you going to take? Hey, man, nothing.
What are you going to take?
Nothing.
Because they're talking to the boxer that just like beat ass with his bare hands. So you're thinking,
yeah, obviously a badass.
Okay,
oh, yeah,
this guy's going to
fist fight with Jason.
What? And then he's like, nothing.
But this gun.
I'm like, but no, that's a thing. That's a thing you're taking there.
It's an obvious, like, Bruce Willis, Liam Neeson taken line.
Oh, man,
like,
it's rough. You're just sitting there like, no,
that's an action hero line.
Okay.
No.
And then we're following Wayne, the cameraman. He goes down into the power supply room, and with a shotgun, he loses his glasses somehow. He gets sprayed in the face with steam.
Yeah.
Loses his glasses and has a straight up Velma from Scooby-Doo moment where he can't see without his glasses.
But still looking at everything through his camera.
Yeah. Like,
he will not put this camera down.
No, he's in Outlast. He's playing Outlast actively. He's got a shotgun in one hand, camera in the other.
Yeah.
Sees a body figure ahead of him and unloads.
Whose body was that?
That was the sexy janitor that the girls were like,
earlier in the movie. Yeah,
sexy janitor.
Yep.
So he shoots sexy janitor. Has no time to feel remorse because Jason is immediately behind sexy janitor and murdering Wayne.
well, no, he did see the girl. Wayne saw the girl through the camera lens. He saw his little friend with her guitar.
That was before. Because that was before. I was on his way down. He sees her friend and he goes, oh my God, no. And then keeps
moving.
And then he loses his glasses.
Yeah, okay,
Then he kills the guy and literally like pans down on the body because he fucks with the adjustment on the camera so that he can clearly see, and then
sees the boots.
Sees the boots right above the head of the dude he just killed, and Jason's just like, "So bitch."
And bitch smacks the shit out of this camera. This kid doesn't look scared. He looks angry and storms off like a child.
Which doesn't work. Because Jason is Jason.
And is teleporting again.
Yep. And catches this kid and throws him onto
a I think board?
Does he stab him first?
Did he stab him at all?
I don't remember.
I don't think he stabbed him at all.
This was a bad movie, folks.
He grabs him and throws him onto this electric board.
Which his pants light on fire before sparks happen. Like, he hits the board, his pants light up, and then sparks happen.
Yeah.
And then the panel lights on fire.
Yeah, immediate fire trousers.
Yeah. He's wearing those, he's a firecrotch.
He's a firecrotch.
So we are getting to be coming close to the 1 hour point in this movie, and we are still not even ballpark close to Manhattan.
Yeah. They get onto the deck.
Yeah, they get up on the deck. Jason kills a couple more of them.
Throws the black kid into the water.
Yeah, throws the black kid overboard.
And then just leaves him.
Yeah, that's all I needed to do. He was done with them.
Which we don't see him survive. We just see him later on in the boat with the other kids.
So then the fire that was started downstairs by Wayne's pants has spread and has exploded the ship, and now the ship is taking on water. Mm-hmm. We get a nice little Titanic scene.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, the woman teacher takes all these kids into the restaurant area, and we never see them again. Because the other kid goes, there is no more restaurant.
Yep, no.
Dude, you didn't check.
No, they died off screen.
Yeah, no, like, you didn't even bother checking on the other kids. You're like, no, yeah, well, the four of us will get into a boat.
Yep. So the dick teacher, the female teacher...
Also being a dick to this kid because he can't figure out where the fuck they're at in a storm.
Yeah, he's in a storm.
Because he's the son of a captain.
He's the son of a captain.
His dad is next to him dead.
Yeah.
Thanks for being...
He's not having any problems handling all this or anything.
I'm going to the guidance counselor to find these kids.
I'm going to fucking a lot of people. So no, it was the Dick teacher, the female teacher, the captain's son, the girl who was having the swimming problems, and the black kid finally climbs out of the water into the boat.
Yes.
So these 5 have survived. And the dog. The dog randomly teleports back into the goddamn boat, and you're like, whoa, where was this dog? What you doing, dog? Where you been?
Right.
So the dog has Jason powers. I think the dog may be Jason.
It might be.
Yeah.
That's how he teleports. It's just Jason and the dog.
What's a twist? So then they are literally paddling back. Mind you, Dick Teacher isn't helping, but he's being a snarky motherfucker.
The entire time. Why is it taking so long?
I bet you don't even know where you're going. And it's like, fuck off, dude.
And of course, the black kid goes, if I can make it, you can too.
Yeah.
Make it where?
I don't know. So they finally are paddling, and they finally make it to New York, where they dock, and immediately the teacher criticizes the kid for where he parked the boat. I'm like, oh no, it's a seedy dock. Oh geez, he couldn't have parked us anywhere nicer. Fuck off. I got us to land.
Right.
I got us off a sinking ship, navigated to New York in the middle of thick fog and a storm. Eat a bag of cock. So...
And then immediately
5 minutes
mugged.
after they land,
immediately mugged.
And the girl is kidnapped.
Yeah, kidnapped and then drugged and almost raped.
She
welcome to New York.
They mug them at gunpoint. They get all of their wallets, and then they take the girl away with them, and they have pinned her down on a couch. Fill her up with some heroin,
which they said would knock her out for the rest of the night because it was an overdose.
And then Jason pops up behind right before she's about to rape him. He's about to rape her.
And shoves a syringe from behind him into his chest.
Through his
through
chest.
him. Yeah, through him.
Like, Jesus.
No, Jason.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So... kills the 2 rapists. The girl runs away free and is just kind of no longer affected by heroin.
Yeah, heroin doesn't affect her.
Nope, she's heroin. She's the cure to heroin.
Yeah.
No. She is affected. She has the vision quest.
Yes.
Heroin is apparently the same as fucking peyote. Because she goes on a goddamn vision quest and immediately knows that the Dick teacher forced her to swim in Camp Crystal Lake, in which Kid Jason grabbed her feet and tried to drag her to hell.
They're all over New York, yet somehow keep finding each other.
No, okay.
Have you ever been to New York? It's huge.
Yeah. No, legitimately, they only are in the back alleys, by the way. They've never hit main streets anywhere.
They were on the subway where the wall said, Quaytone lives.
Do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, so they're on this... The girl and the boy are on this subway in New York, and they're staring because Jason just popped through a window, but nobody else on this subway seems to acknowledge that.
No.
And right in the window next to her, in big red and yellow, is a nod at the Jason Lives movie, but they just went, hey... what's the most New York ghetto name you can come up with? Quaytone. Quaytone Lives.
Actually, that is a nod. This is... Quayton was part of the name of the high school band that director Rob Hedden was in.
Oh.
Yes. So that is why that was so prominent.
Okay, that's much better than what I was thinking this was going to be.
Which I'm still sitting there going, why was your band named Quayton?
Maybe that was his high school name? His high school...
No, it was his high school band named Quayton. We are Quayton, good night! No, that sounds stupid. Anyway, so they're... then they're starting to pick off the kids. Jason is starting to pick off the kids one by one. Apparently, Jason has a fucking tracker on these kids because he pops up at a moment's goddamn notice.
Not only that, but he's got a hell of an arm on him.
Yeah, because the black kid boxer was running around. Jason spots him. He runs up to a rooftop to try to get away from him. Can't get away from him.
Starts laying combos
So
into Jason.
decides, I better box him. A minute and 16 seconds of him just punching Jason and Jason backing up from the punches before this kid is so tired, apparently, that he can't throw any more punches.
Yeah.
A minute and 16 seconds.
But he is an undefeated boxer.
Of a kid throwing punches at Jason Voorhees with no music.
Bloody fucking knuckles, too.
He's got bloody knuckles. You're not understanding what I'm saying. There's no music. This scene was boring as shit.
Oh, yeah, no, it was terrible.
I was 10 seconds in going, can we just kill him, Jason? Jason, get him.
And then he finally does.
Yeah,
because he goes, give me your best shot,
and
motherfucker.
And Jason just punches his head off.
Clean. It is a clean cut when you see that head fly through.
Punches his head off. And it just lands in a trash can. And I was like halfway expecting Jason to raise his arm. Like, yeah, 3 points.
Just Rocky it.
It was fucking stupid.
It was so bad.
And then, so that's one down. The girl, they find the cops.
Oh, yeah.
The dick teacher has found a cop at some point and
tells the female teacher to freeze?
Yeah, he pops around. The cop is like super jumpy for some reason. Pops around the corner, tells a small female to freeze with a gun drawn on him. The guy goes, "Well, never mind. Yeah, don't worry about it." And then,
but doesn't react to the kids running after.
Yeah, doesn't react to that shit. So then they all get into the back of the cop car and they look forward and they see the kid's head hanging from the mirror. And I'm like, "What the fuck, Jason? Happen? You teleporting motherfucker!" You also have a tracker on these kids because there's no way you knew where the rest of them were. You have you've grabbed his head, you've ported again to this cop's car, hung it, ported again so you weren't there. And then the moment the cop sees the head, grabs the radio, starts calling for backup, and then Jason, boom, right from behind. Got him.
Throws that motherfucker.
Killing him off screen.
Yeah.
And in the melee, the girl hops in the front seat and just starts driving, and mind you, she should still be baked off her ass. She's not.
No.
So she sees Jason, runs him over, and
the car explodes,
plows into a wall. Everybody gets out, and then they turn back and realize that the female teacher didn't make it out of the car, and then the car explodes like old action movies. It was fucking good. So then Dick Teacher gets shoved in the barrel, the toxic waste barrel from the beginning of the movie.
Which those two muggers were the two same muggers from the opening sequence.
Yep, they didn't have a big budget for people.
No.
So they do that, and then the kids run to the subway. They run to the subway first. And they think they can get on the train to get away from Jason. Can't get away from Jason.
Nope.
Jason is on the subway with them. They're running towards the back, and they pull the emergency stop. And the only thing people bitch about are like, "Hey, I'm supposed to get off. This isn't my stop. Come on, get this thing moving." These kids hop off.
Run to a diner.
No. This Jason gets zapped by the live wire.
Oh yeah,
the live line.
Which the girl barely misses.
Right. Yeah.
Narrowly misses.
They think he's dead, so they saunter up, and they're like, "Oh wow, it's New York. It's so cool." And then Jason just comes up, and he's just fine, just standing there. And they're like, "Oh my god!"
And then Jason starts looking.
Yeah, Jason's like, "Ooh, oh hey."
Huh. A lot different from my like.
Cool. Bright. Oh, wait, focus. Gotta kill these kids. And then this is where the infamous GIF of Jason kicking the boombox comes from.
Yeah.
Jason walks up and punts a boombox playing some jams by some hoodlums. And the hoodlums all jump up, these teenage hoodlums. And
grabbing chains and a butterfly
knives and all this shit. And
like, these are tough motherfuckers.
Jason turns, looks at them,
Mm-hmm.
lifts his mask to show him his disfigured face, but you can't see it. He just turns, you see the back of his head, he lifts his mask, they all freak the fuck out and run away, and he drops his mask and continues chasing them, and you are left wondering, why the fuck are you not killing anybody else?
Yeah.
You have a plethora of people to kill, and you are stuck with fucking the 2 country bumpkins? What are you doing? So then they run to the diner.
Yeah, which, waste of a good egg, because that waitress just threw a cigarette into it, which, that plate hadn't been touched. That was a fresh breakfast.
Hey, that's what you get. That's New York.
You let your
it's
heart
New
run.
York. So, piece of trivia about that diner, the large man that gets thrown to the back,
The chef guy.
is the occasional stunt double for Jason Voorhees.
I believe it. That was a big motherfucker.
And went on to play Jason in a later movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Kane Hodder got upset. Because he's like, I made Jason takes Manhattan.
So there it is. There's a little bit of trivia for you there. So these kids are running away. They find a sewer, get down to the sewer. They run, and they're running from Jason. They see Jason, and they start sprinting. Run into a sewer worker that says they've got 10 minutes before the entire sewer fills with toxic waste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we need more of a reason to
run.
Which, raises a whole nother question of, why is this sewer filling with toxic waste every night at midnight?
Yeah. Why are they storing toxic
New
waste?
New York, what are you doing? Jesus, Charlie Sheen keeps pissing in the same toilet. Stop it.
They have to let it out at 12 o'clock. It's just Charlie Sheen, Mike Busey.
So, yeah, they say
And
the
Nick
toxic...
Nolte.
There you go. So toxic waste is coming. And as they start to walk away with the sewer worker, Jason catches up to him because teleports, grabs and kills the sewer worker offspring with a pipe wrench.
Yeah.
And then is about to kill the captain's son. And the girl flashes a flashlight at him.
And he is like a deer in headlights immediately.
Just like snap to turn and does not kill this kid. And I'm like, you have been wanting nothing more than to kill these people. Why does a flashlight stop you?
Right.
So he dips out, keeps going, and then they get up. They start going up a ladder.
That's up
no.
This
is she finds a bucket full of toxic waste
and dumps it on his face.
Splashes it on his face, and his face comes off, and his mask comes off. And
showing the weird flesh jack-o'-lantern that is his face?
It looked like if Planet of the Apes mask fucked a jack-o'-lantern. It was rough.
Because we've seen Jason's face before.
Yeah.
It did not look like that.
Anything like that. And then they are running through the sewers, and the toxic waste flood happens as they climb up a ladder.
Which none of it touches them.
None of it
somehow.
touches. Super big splash.
Yeah.
None of it touches them.
Not a drop.
And it all covers Jason, and Jason melts away
into a
and
kid.
Fire kind of happens a little bit,
yeah.
As he melts away, and then the water starts to go away, and you see human hands.
Yeah.
And the form of Jason as a child is laying there, and you're
in
like,
fetal position.
So, but they never really talk about it or explain it.
No.
They just go, in the next scene, the kids are up top, and they're like talking about a date they should take.
Yeah.
Which, they just got mugged, and they still are miles and miles from home, and their boat sank, and all their friends are dead, and their guardians are dead, so they've got some issues to work through.
Yeah.
But it's cool. They got a date to go on. But that begs the question, if they didn't see a kid, it was just a nod for the fans, if they did see a child, they left that child to die in the sewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the train
And
wreck.
then all of a sudden you see this midget handheld start running toward them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're thinking, oh, it's Jason as a
yeah,
kid.
the dog.
And it's the dog.
The dog teleported back.
Yeah.
Dog came back again. The
Yeah.
dog is
And
Jason.
then that's the movie.
That's it. That is this train wreck of a movie.
Yeah, that
we
is
call
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Uh,
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
So, as always, we're going to end our show with a little bit of accidental horror.
Yes, yes.
These are non-horror movies that have a scene of pure horror in them. And today we are talking some Toy Story.
But you ask yourself, this is the first CG complete movie for children. What could be so scary in it? It's Disney. It's Pixar, man.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what's scary about it.
Oh, man, tell me. Bring it to me.
It is after the Woody and Buzz have been captured and they are taken to Sid's room. And now they are not sure what to do and they're trying to figure out how to get out and all this. And the lights are off and it's dark in the room. And from under the bed comes a spider. And attached to the spider leg's head is a baby doll's head. And all of these deformed creatures are grabbing at the legs of Woody and climbing out from under the bed. And it is a sheer scene of fucking horror.
Dude, it is insanely scary. As a kid, I was just like, oh, some shit's about to go down.
Like, this
Oh,
is...
God.
Like, yeah, they become lovable characters later, but that first reveal when they are just zombie crawling out from the depths, that is
it's
nothing
gnarly.
but fear.
It's fucking gnarly. There's the one that freaked me out the most was the light bulb.
Oh, was that the Barbie leg?
The Barbie leg was the hooker.
Yeah, that was the crane.
Yeah, it was. No, it was like this weird rolling thing that was also a light bulb. Or no, it was the guy's torso walking with the light bulb underneath him.
The duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was fucking weird.
Oh, dude, it creeped me the hell out.
So yeah, no, that's that is some definite accidental horror. Right there.
And it was more scary than any moment in Jason Takes Manhattan.
So there it is, guys. That is the show for this week.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys, as always, this is just our opinion. If you love Jason Takes Manhattan, more power to you.
Yeah.
If you hate the first Friday the 13th, more power to you. That's
dick.
Easy sick. No, these, like I said, these are just our opinions. You've got yours, we've got ours. We take them as they come, and we would love to hear about them too in those comments down below. Let us know about your opinions about these movies. Let us know your favorite scenes, your least favorite scenes, and if you guys have any accidental horror, let us know.
Oh yeah.
And we'll definitely talk about those on our next show.
Yeah, hit us up at the Sick and Twisted Facebook page, or you can always email us at sickandtwistedhorrorcast@gmail.com.
That is SIK, sick and twisted. So that's the end of the show. Like I said, hit us up in those comments down below. Let us know what you think. And as always, he's sick.
And he's twisted.
And this has been the Sick and Twisted Horrorcast.
All right, have a killer week.